Welcome to the African Album Review Podcast, where we review Africa's best and latest music projects.
Salatiel is an award-winning Cameroonian music producer, singer, and executive who owns Alpha Beta Records and started his career about 7 or 8 years ago, producing for some of the biggest acts in Cameroon. That includes Daphne, Mr. Leo, and more. One of his career highlights was in 2019 when he featured on Beyoncé The Lion King, The Gift album, on the track Water together with Pharell Williams. Today, I will be reviewing his new album titled Africa Represented. Africa, Moody say. My name is MJ Wemoto and I welcome you to the African Album Review Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today, my people. How you doing? Me, I'm alright, a day at a time, and we're still here, so still working and still doing what we gotta do. Before we get into the album review, do head over to Wemoto Music. There is a PayPal icon top right hand corner. Donate some coins to keep the podcast going. Do check out Wemoto Music Africa on YouTube. You can also listen to these podcasts there, and join some of the live YouTube lives that we do, especially on Sundays. I host a show called 10 Hottest African Songs I Heard This Week. So, that's fine. Anyway, let's do this thing.
The latest African album review is loading.
Africa Represented was released February 26th by Alpha Beta Records. It has 20 songs, 1 hour 14-minute runtime, 13 features, and the album sees Salatiel with major production credits and then other producer placements such as DJ Carl, CFX, IVO, Lionel West Arts, etc.
Album review.
Let's analyze the music.
It's always a pleasant surprise and a pleasure for me when the opening track of the album is a dance track. The fusion between that ndombolo guitar and a pop dance sound was wonderfully done on Ayagayo, which incidentally was released over a year ago, and it has a video as well. The track did quite well and still is doing quite well. Bado is definitely much more dancehall inclined while still maintaining that pop dance feel from track 1. This is such an 18 plus track in some instances, even though primarily Salatiel sings praises to his girl, who is Bado. She's just Bado. I guess it all comes with the package, to be fair. He also added a bit of French there, which is always a highlight when it comes to many artists from Cameroon, as they typically do the same. The title track, Africa Represented, is an Afrocentric reggae number with smooth backing vocals reminiscent of star acts such as Lucky Dube or Morgan Heritage. The whole of Africa has shown some love, while CFX helps Salatiel with a rap verse that has strong delivery as much as deep pen game. It's really worth listening to just for what's being said, and it's one of my favorite tracks on this album. One of the songs that will have people talking is Say I Do, which features Sauti Sol and Loco. Interestingly enough, when I did the album review for Rick Hassani, I think it was yesterday, Sauti Sol is on that album. And I'm saying Sauti Sol is on every album. Yo, guys are working hard. But anywho, one reason I say that this song is going to be something that people talk about is because wedding songs and wedding season in general are huge in Cameroon. Huge. So I think a lot of artists try to just find the wedding song for the year, if that makes sense. And if you can crack that, you're in, bro. Having said that, this song is the right vibe and everything else for exactly that, with two of the biggest Cameroonian acts coming together, which is Salatiel and Loco, and then one of Africa's biggest bands. I mean, you do the math. Good Girl with Hades Rochelle Guillem is beautifully crafted with the male-female duet interchange. It was released as a single with a video, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was received to much fanfare. Salatiel again sings praises to his woman, asking God to bless all the women that don't play with a man's heart. That's a new angle, which I kind of vibe with, The pace picked up on songs such as Descend, which is a true Afro house rhythm with a lovely tempo. Planer also goes on the list with a familiar Coupé Décalé sound and features Aveiro Jess and DJ Arthur. I heard that this song is actually a continuation of like two other songs or another story or something, and one of them being called Anita or something like that. So I don't know, my Cameroonian friends, do tell me what's up. And this one's a banger. I love Coupé Décalé, so yeah.
Album review.
The technical side of things.
You'll find a number of genres fused into this album, from Afro pop, dancehall, reggae, pop in general, and house, then sprinkled with elements of others such as Afro beats, dombolo, and primarily what you get is a flavor leaning towards an Afro dancehall blend with smoothly sung vocals and a dollop of patois. The songs are predominantly in English with some French here and there too, so yeah. The mood in general is a happy love and party type with tons of confidence to go with. Salatiel just has this thing. He just has this, I don't know, like this musical aura of just somebody who's so sure of himself. The flow of the album was fairly good and had a light oscillation to it, while being largely mid-tempo. The first half felt faster than the second half, with a bit of slowing down, I guess, in the middle. For the listener, everything is quite organized. There is some sort of line of best fit throughout for consistency, so you can listen to it from start to finish without really feeling like, I'm not sure what's going on, but I could vibe with it from start to finish, no problem. Vocally, Salatiel is a great artist. His singing style is adaptable and makes it quite easy to listen to across an hour of music like this. Normally, I'd say an hour and I think it's 14 minutes of music. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. And maybe for this album, it would have been good to cut it down by like maybe 3 or 4 tracks and have it maybe under an hour, roughly. The collabo selections are a worthy mention here, from Tenny, who gave us a wonderful performance on Fire on the Mountain, to the Kenyan Kings I mentioned earlier, Sauti Sol, Ghanaian dancehall star Stonebwoy. He makes an appearance on this album. And then fellow Cameroonian heavyweights such as Salatiel's own protege, Mr. Leo and Loco. He also added a remix to his song Water with Beyoncé and Pharrell that I mentioned earlier from the Lion King The Gift album. The mixing and mastering were pretty good, and there were some lovely elements I enjoyed. For example, the panning of the background guitar on Party Hard. It was one among many such beautiful moments for me as a listener.
Album review.
The final thoughts.
I came away with a number of favorites, and that starts with the title track, Africa Represented. I'm normally not into the reggae vibes, but this one was good, man. I really liked it. I can also add Good Girl, Ayagayo, Planer, Vamos, which I loved and sounds like nothing else on the album, in part thanks to the unique beat and contribution by Soul Bangs from Guinea. Party Hard was also one of my favorites, and Warriors, which features Stonebwoy and Mr. Leo. And you know what, this song, I reckon Salatiel gave his best performance on Warriors. He really challenged himself vocally and delivered. Say I Do, I think that's the one with Sauti Sol and Loco. Yeah, that's the one. It's also a favorite of mine and a track to watch. All I can say is that Salatiel is such a unique act that it's challenging to find a good parallel. That is a good thing. It means you get music that is one of a kind in many contexts from him. Africa Represented is worth a listen, and Cameroonians are likely to love it, especially seeing he is a household name responsible for so many hits across the country. And all the while, the rest of Africa will find a number of amazing tracks to hold on to as well. Otherwise, that's it from me. My name is MJ Wemoto, son of Zimbabwe, signing out. This was the African Album Review Podcast. Peace. Dende.
Moto Music, the best place to listen to podcasts about African music online.